Hey there, girlfriend. Have you ever thought about reimagining you? Well, we're going to get to the bottom of that in today's interview. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, Michelle, girl. We are so excited to have you here today
Hey,
to talk about reimagining you. But before
yes.
we get into that, we're going to get into your business a little bit, girl. You got to tell us a little bit about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Ingafay. I appreciate coming in and joining the collaborative today. And so I am Michelle Gines. I'm affectionately known as MG, the Reimagine Strategist. And so what I do and who I work with those women who have made the decision, whether they have retired, refired, redecided to reimagine themselves. And so a lot of times I am working with those who have come out of the workforce. They have, or maybe they are still inside of the workplace, but they are deciding to do something different. They are deciding to take their skills, they're leveraging their education, their experience, their expertise, and they're moving into the realm of consulting, or maybe they are moving into coaching, and they are going to use that what they know, their experiences, their expertise, and they are now ready to be in business for themselves. So they are now doing the work that they have always been doing, maybe in corporate spaces or for someone else, and they are doing it now on their own. And so I have been working and doing that with women for the past 10 years. I started out as a publisher and so in that publishing realm, I had worked with a lot of people that had ideas and different principles and things that they were doing, and so they were working on their books. And so with that, we learned, there were some things that they had to do, and so it kind of was natural to go into, hey, we want to expand on that. And in doing so, we started doing some consulting, and that's how I ended up, deciding that, hey, we were going to do a little bit more than just helping people publish books, but now we were helping them to start businesses with some of the experiences that they were using when they were writing their books, also into leveraging it into businesses. And so that is what I do.
Girl, that is so awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you're working with women, you're empowering them to step out of their comfort zone, probably the corporate golden cuffs that we often are in and kind of scared to step out of and to do something that they were probably meant to do anyway. So that is just totally awesome. So where it came up, how did you come up with the Reimagine Strategist? I just love that.
Yeah, you know what? Because a lot of times we don't ask the question, what do I want to do?
Right.
And so when you answer that question, if you really take the time to sit and think about it, like really just sit and think about it and give yourself an opportunity to reimagine what life could look like. A lot of times you're already doing the work, right? You're already doing it. But if you reimagine that, hey, I'm doing this for me.
Right.
What would it look like if I use what I know how to do, but I'm doing it for me? Let's reimagine what that looks like. What does creating my work week look like versus having to ask when I can take days off? So you get to reimagine what life looks like for you. You get to reimagine what does wealth look like for you. You get to decide what income is for you. How much are you, not necessarily how much are you worth, but how much is the work that you do worth?
I love it.
Yeah. So you get to reimagine that.
Yes. So that's cool. So it's really the transition from corporate into coaching or consulting, whatever that may be.
Yeah. It really is. And really, it is a shift of mindset. It's really a shift in perspective.
Well, I'm sure. That
Yeah.
is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So how did you get started on this journey? Did you reimagine where you wanted to be and made that shift as well? Or yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did because I like a lot of people. I grew up the oldest of four.
Okay.
Really the oldest of two. I had one sister, one natural sister, same mom and dad.
Right.
But we also had, some stepsisters. And, but I was the oldest, grew up latchkey. I'm a Gen Xer,
Yep.
so you came home, you took care of everybody, made sure the house was clean, made sure dinner was prepared, and all those types of things. And so you kind of grow up kind of a people pleaser, right? You want to make sure the mom was in good shape. You want
Yep.
to make sure grandma was in good shape. The siblings was in good shape, whether or not you were in good shape, and that kind of became a norm for me. And I want to say in 2000, the year 2000, 2007, I started thinking about, you know what, Michelle, like, quit being a people pleaser. Like, what pleases you? Because sometimes pleasing everybody else can kind of get in the way. Not that it's self-harm, physically, but sometimes it can be harming to yourself when you don't matter to you. And so I started thinking differently about, what are the things that are important to you, Michelle? What are the things that you need to do to make a difference in your own life?
Right.
What are the things that, people come to you for this and that, so how can you be a differentiator in your own life and be a disruptor in your own life?
Mm-hmm.
And so as a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and I said, I told myself, I kind of went into what I called a season of silence. And during that season of silence, I kind of, it wasn't that I was speaking out and saying, hey, I'm going to not do these things for other people or not care about other people. I just was going to make some personal boundaries and shifts for myself. So if I had written the book, and I'm still penning this, but what it was I was going to, the book would have been called, or is called, Myself Interrupted. I am just going to interrupt what I'm doing. All my normal stuff, all the natural things that I was doing, taking care of everything and everybody else before myself.
Right.
I'm going to interrupt that pattern.
Okay.
And when I did that, it was like people appreciated me telling them no, appreciated me sending them an invoice for the work and stuff that I was doing for them, or appreciated the fact that, you know what, hey, I can do this work for you, but this is what my expectation of you is if you're going to be a client of mine. Or I'm going to serve you, but I'm going to serve you as a client. I'm not going to just allow you to treat me a certain way. And you teach people how to treat you.
Exactly.
And girl, I was like, wait a minute. That's all I had to do. So then it became a teaching model.
Yeah.
And so I was showing other people how to do that. And that was what I found out was that other people wanted to be able to do that and wanted to do it easier and wanted to, have language around it and wanted to feel confident and not guilty for doing so.
Right. I love it. I love it. Because I know oftentimes when we're making that transition from corporate to entrepreneur, we're not used to asking for the money because the salary that we're earning has already been established. And it really wasn't necessarily something that we negotiated. We probably just, in some cases, most women that I know they're just accepting their salary. They're not saying, well, I think I should be rated higher than that. Now you're actually asking for the money and saying it with intention that you are going to do XYZ based on what they're paying you. And this is what you expect. So it's a little different. I mean, you're more in control of the situation as the business owner, more so than as the employee, somebody telling you what to do and instead of you telling somebody what you expect. So it's completely different mindset. So I'm so glad you shared that because I know that that's often a struggle with people in my community when it comes to running their business. How do they ask for the money? How are they actually paid what they worth? What would be your response to that?
Getting paid what you're worth?
Exactly.
You know what? Just stating the value and remaining silent.
Because who talks first is the one that loses, right?
You know what? And I'm telling you, it's amazing when you know how I think it's AMC theaters used to have the tagline that silence is golden.
There you go. There you go.
I treat it with a different level of respect now because I didn't realize that. Ingafay, I remember that it took me a long time to even negotiate salary. I remember joining an organization, the American Business Women's Association, and learning that women get paid 21 cents less than men on every dollar. I remember learning for the first time that, hey, the first offer that you're presented when you are offered a job, don't take it. That you negotiate no matter what it is that they offer you, don't accept it. You counter.
Yep.
And I was like, what? Wait a minute. What do you mean? Like you're supposed to say, no, don't give them. No, I want this instead of that. I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. Like I thought they would say no, girl. And the first time I learned that, so I was like, okay. So the next job offer that I got, I negotiated, and they came right back and offered me 20% more. I was like, what? I should have been doing this. I was like,
okay, y'all, that is like a teachable moment. That is a teachable moment for those of you that are watching. Don't accept the first offer. There you go.
Always counter.
Always counter. There you go.
Always counter.
Even
wonderful. If you like it, even if you like the offer, counter. Because if you're okay with what they first presented, if they came back and told you, no, this is really all we have. This is what we have to offer you. They may offer you some additional incentives and benefits or stock options or other things, and you can accept it. But you may very well be surprised, like I was, and they come back and offer you more money, and you're like, oh my Jesus.
Yes, that is powerful. That is powerful. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. So when you work with people, how do you help them? How do you help others reimagine through what you're doing? I mean, because I know you've kind of briefly told us about it, but how do you help them really take the action? Because I know people have a tendency to want to tell you about what's not working and sometimes really whine and complain about it, but then you give them actionable steps, and for whatever reason, they don't do it. So what do you do? We want to get you to do this for real.
You know what? It's so funny because I just wrote last Sunday. Every Sunday I do a Substack article. Okay. So and the article was there's a gap, but there's an information action gap. Because I can tell you and give you information. And then there's action that you have to take on the information that you receive.
Exactly.
And sometimes there is an information action gap. So the main way that I help is holding people accountable, because I tell everybody, if there is something that you say that you want to do, a goal, an assignment that you have, or, there is a dream that you want to realize, most of the time there's a change that you want to make.
That's right.
There's going to require some action.
Yep.
That's the only way that you're going to get there. You have to take an action. And so if you tell me that you want to get to whatever that thing is, that goal, that assignment, that step, then I'm going to hold you accountable. One. But number two, and this is most important, is you have to actually take a step. Like you have to do it. Most of the time people are holding, and this sounds crazy, and it actually sounds counterintuitive, but I am going to be that person that you are not going to say no to. You're not. When we engage, because most of the time, now I'll be honest with you, I'm not for everybody for that reason. And to be honest, I like it like that. And most of the people that work with me, they like it like that too. Because really, if we get together, it's because you want to take action. You want to get to your goal. You
Yep.
want somebody saying, hey girl, come on, we got this, we're gonna do that. You got the roadmap.
That's right.
You know the stuff that you want to do. You know that you're not playing at this point. And those are the people really that I work with.
Right.
And they're the ones that are the action takers. Now, for those who, I'm going to just tell those who have that gap between the information that they know and the actions that they take, you don't want it. It's simple. You don't want it bad enough.
Right.
Because if you want it, you got to take the action. There's really no way around it. Either you want it or you don't. It's pretty simple.
I love it. I love it. But you'll have those of us say, girl, I do want it. I do. But it's just so hard for me to do something like what we said we're going to do, because it's completely out of what I normally do.
Yeah. You know what? And here is the answer to that. If you do what you always do,
that's right,
you're always going to get just what you got.
That's right.
Yep. I know, and like I said, Ingafay, like, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
No, I'm with you.
But I think it's important. Like, even I had to come to grips with me, right? Like, I had to come to grips and say, you know what, Michelle, like, remember, I am a recovering people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted everybody to be my friend. I remember, code switching, so that I could fit into the right grooves with the right people and all that. And then there had to come a time when I was like, you know what, Michelle, the things that you want to do in order to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to do these things. You're going to have to make some shifts. You're going to have to make some switches in what you're willing to do, what you're not, the places you're willing to go, the places you're not, and that's just what it required. And You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to say it. You're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to move. And that's just what was required. Yep. And what I found out was it was okay, because there were some folks that rolled with that. There were some people that it was part of what they needed to be able to move forward. It was part of what I needed. I had to disrupt what was normal for me in order to get to a level that I wanted to go, to be able to do some of the things that I wanted to do. And it made a difference for me. Right. And here's what I know is it makes a difference for other people too. And you have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to keep moving around the same mountain, the same tree, the same circle. You'll keep going around and around. And so until you decide that you want something different, your actions will have to change. Your behaviors will have to change. They will.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So when it comes to you finding those people that want that accountability, and really are wanting to not say no, like you just said, how do you find them for those coaches and consultants that are kind of struggling with lead generation?
All right, so this is going to sound completely nuts. So very often they find me because somebody that they know sends them to me. And the other way that we find one another is I utilize a tool called the Reimagine Captive. And so the Reimagine Captive is actually a tool that I use. And what I'll do is I will provide either through a podcast channel, or I will part of our master classes that we do each month, usually in groups. So if I get invited to participate in groups, so I'm a part of the Forbes Council. So I write with Forbes. And so I invited to provide classes, and like during those classes, I do the Reimagine Captive. And in that Reimagine Captive, it is a questionnaire that helps you identify whether or not you are ready to reimagine.
Mm.
And so sometimes there are individuals who are ready. And then when you are ready, then you come and we go through this process. We kind of do a roadmap of what that reimagine looks like for
Okay.
you. Yeah.
I love
And
it.
so I haven't been, and I don't do, because I know a lot of times people have, exercises that they do, and it's kind of open to everybody, and, just everybody just kind of funnels in.
Hmm.
It's not quite that way with me. I talk to lots of people, but I know, like I said, like I am not for everybody, but it's intentional that way. So
Okay. I love it. I love it. Which
yeah,
is which basically shows the power of knowing who your target market is, so you
yeah,
can attract the people to you more
yeah,
so than attack. Because I know I've talked to a lot of people about lead generation and really making sure that they are solid on who they want to serve. Because when you're
yeah,
solid on who you want to serve and how you want to serve them, you will be magnetic to them. You
yeah,
will be that way to them. So thank
yeah,
you for sharing that. And it's so important to know that everybody is not your person. Because when you try
yeah.
to serve everybody, you essentially are serving no one. For
That's true.
sure.
That's the truth. That's the truth. It really is. Like,
You got to know who you're serving. You got to know
yeah,
who you're serving. Well,
yeah,
girl, now you have given us some golden nuggets here, but I know before we got on, you told me you had something that you wanted to share. So I wanted
yeah.
to give you an opportunity to share about what you wanted to give everybody for those that are interested.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I am sharing with you a personal gratitude journal. And
Awesome.
in this journal, you can go in. You can go to michellegans.online, and I actually have it up so that you can. It's right there. As soon as you drop on the website, it's going to ask you, do you want to, if you want to reimagine a new you? And so the journal is there, and it really just kind of gives you an opportunity to just kind of spend some time with you and
Awesome.
identify some things maybe that you are grateful for. Some gives you an opportunity to kind of dive deep a little bit,
Okay.
and what do I like, what do I need, what time is this for me right now? So I want you to take it, experience yourself a little bit, and just enjoy, just taking some time, because sometimes we don't do that. Just go inward a little and spend some time with you, love on you just a little bit more. Self-care, I think, is so important.
It is.
So yeah, so the personal journal, the purpose journal, I want you guys to have that. And Ingafay, thank you so much for inviting me to come on and to share. I hope that there has been something here that someone got out of our conversation today.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom and your guidance with us, because I think it's so powerful to let female leaders know that if they want to make that switch from corporate to entrepreneurship, that first and foremost, that it's possible.
Yeah,
And secondly, to know that, yeah, it's going to be a different thinking process. It's going to be a different mindset shift, but it's definitely something that they can do, especially when they have somebody guiding them and leading them along the way and holding them accountable for what they say they
absolutely.
want. Because, it's so easy to let ourselves off the hook, right?
It
We
is.
tired, you're just not up to it today. You're not feeling like it, but
The time.
you have to rise above that, especially if you're trying to make a change. So
Absolutely.
thank you again for sharing that with us. And those that are watching, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon. If you have anyone that you would love for me to interview, by all means DM me and let me know. And thanks, Michelle, for coming, girlfriend.
Thank you.